flat out as the red lights go off. He tries to go through on the inside. Oh, we've got fire! Tension is incredible. Such a fierce battle, both fighting like gladiators for victory here. Hello everybody, I'm John Hindhaugh, welcoming you to the thrilling world of endurance racing. Stand by for action and more adrenaline-pumping excitement at the Hankook 12 Hours of MISANO, here at the MISANO World Circuit Marco Simoncelli. This event will demand not just speed, but impeccable teamwork and relentless perseverance. So get ready for drama, excitement, and the unyielding spirit of competition. The engines are ready to roar, the tension is palpable. Let's get racing! For the penultimate round of the 24-hour series powered by Hankook, we're making our second visit to Italy. And this weekend, teams will not just be looking at victory here, but also collecting points for the Series Championship. And we'll be crowning our champions at Circuit Barcelona, Catalunya in Spain in mid-September. MISANO World Circuit Marco Simoncelli is about 2.5 miles inland from the Adriatic coast of Italy. 2.6 miles, 4.2 kilometres, 16 challenging corners, a couple of fast straights, and this makes it a favourite amongst the drivers. It certainly requires a blend of precision, bravery and skill to master its intricacies.
I think it's a great track. It's my first time at MISANO. I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a track that suits my style of driving. So far, it's been very easy to get adjusted to, and I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, it's not an easy track. It's quite tight. I think it's what's good or what's easy to learn about is because there's no elevation change, right? So it's quite flat. You can see everything quite nicely. But overall, I think it's in the medium kind of base. It's not super difficult. It's not super breezy. It's in between, I would say.
I really like the track. It's a unique track. It's not so easy. You have to bring everything together to be fast, and it's not so easy to bring the lap time together. And I reckon today with this temperature, it's let's say it's difficult for the material, it's difficult for the drivers and for strategy and for the tires.
Yeah, there's a lot of chicanes here. The track is quite narrow, so in the chicane it's quite hard to overtake because you have to prepare for the other corner. So the whole track is quite difficult. There are not that many long straights, so you don't have that much time to rest.
Time to take a look at this challenging circuit that the teams have to race on this weekend at MISANO World Circuit Marco Simoncelli. Down the front straight then, across the start line towards the first corner. Actually, the track used to run the other way until 2007 when it was changed around. 1 and 2 coming very quickly, not too much curb taken there because there are bollards on the inside. Straight through into 3, get the car straightened up and accelerate down towards turn number 4, Curva del Rio. It's a tight right-hander, many different apex and lines for the drivers to choose from here, and a good opportunity to make an overtake. Turn 5, another right-hander, and that leads immediately into the middle straight. Turn 6, you want to be through there as quickly as possible, and turn 7 is pretty much flat out on the approach to turn number 8. Turn 8 is Curva Quercia, and one of the slower parts of the circuit. This left-hander, you have to brake quite heavily into it, and that's another prime overtaking spot. Then you're off to turns 9 and 10. And again, these are corners that are running into each other, so you have to think about the exit as much as the entry to the corner, particularly here, as this leads on to the fastest part of the circuit, the long back straight, reaching speeds of 140 miles an hour, 250 kilometers an hour. Turn 11, probably when the fuel load comes down, is flat. Turn 12, certainly absolutely flat for the GT3 cars. then braking into turn 13, and that's a tricky one because you're turning and braking at the same time. That leads immediately into another corner, the slower turn 14. You can use a little bit of the blue paint there. If you did that in MotoGP, you would lose a position or have to do the penalty loop. There's a kink at turn 15 that you're accelerating through towards the final corner, which leads back onto the front straight. This is MISANO, and of course, when it ran the other way, that was turn 1. That's a lap of the MISANO World Circuit, Marco Simoncelli. It's time for qualifying, which will set the stage for the intense battle ahead this weekend. More than just a fight for pole position, the first critical step in a marathon of strategy and skill. It will set the tone for the race, providing a psychological edge and positioning teams to better manage their pace and pit stops. A successful qualifying session can be the difference between leading the pack and battling from behind. As usual, qualifying is divided into 3 parts of 15 minutes. 3 drivers per team push the cars to the limits, best lap per driver counting, and then the team with the fastest average lap are on pole position. In the overall qualifications, 3rd place went to the number 11 Swiss Hofer Racing team. They had a little spin in Q1, but it had no serious consequences. At the end, just 17 one-thousandths of a second put them into 3rd, behind the 2nd place. That's a good starting place for the race tomorrow. It was a fierce battle for pole position in the Italian afternoon sun. The German Herbert Motorsport team with their number 91 Porsche charged extremely hard and put down some fantastic time. In Q3, Jason Hart managed a lap time of 1:35.52. That was the 2nd fastest lap time of anybody. So that was 2nd place on the grid for Herbert Motorsport. Well, the Porsche's average time was eclipsed by Polish team PTT Bike Schnitzelarm Racing, the black and grey Mercedes AMG number 74. Amazingly, 2 out of their 3 qualifying stints were under 1 minute 35 seconds, and they had a super margin of almost 0.3 of a second between them and their closest competitors. Pole position then to PTT by Schnitzelarm Racing.
I feel really amazing. The people and the team, you know, did a really good job through the race weekend. So I'm really appreciated. Thank you, and I try our best to achieve good results.
In the 992 class for Porsche 911 GT3 Cup cars, it was extremely competitive, and after 45 minutes of qualifying, the top 3 teams were within a second of each other. Best team in the 992 class, one of the family squads of the 24-hour series, the Belgian Red Ant Racing team in the 903. The 2 Redon brothers, Ayrton and Yannick, together with Kobe de Bruyke, certainly will be looking for victory tomorrow. In GT4, for a long time it looked like the Aston Martin of Team Street Art Racing, the number 407, would have pole position. But due to broken suspension, they had to come to the pits, and they lost their pole for a moment at least to the Hankook Motorsport number 419.
We had the same issue on day 1, actually. I broke the other suspension on the other side. We don't know. And in Portimao earlier this year, driving the same car, we had the right rear go brake exactly the same way. But the team is going to fix it. Julia is boarding the car and is going to smack a time, and it's going to work.
Julian Deraz did indeed do the business. He squeezed everything out of the multicoloured Aston Martin and got a last-minute pole for Team Street Art.
I think we have a good average pace with all the guys, so I'm really happy. They repaired the car, so a big thanks for them. We repaired the car for the 3rd quali. Yeah, they changed the suspension quite quickly, so really good, really nice, really happy.
In the TCE class, the British CWS engineering team with their Ginetta G55 is comfortably the fastest car. Just 2 drivers this weekend, but in each of the sessions, they set the best lap of anyone, and they outpaced their competitors by almost 1.5 seconds. Well done to Colin and Dan. Welcome to Saturday. It's race day. And the MISANO World Circuit, Marco Simoncelli, is a hive of activity. Teams have been busy both in the paddock and on the grid. Mechanics have checked and fine-tuned the engines. Drivers are dressed in their racing suits. They're going through their pre-race routine. And the atmosphere is a blend of anticipation and tension. Let's hear from the pole sitters, PTT by Schnitzelau.
Yeah, you know, we are really happy. For sure, the car is really fast, and it was luck we are on the pole. But target for today will be on the finish line for sure. We don't accept. We always try to fight and be on the first position. But we will be happy when we will cross the finish line at 10 o'clock this night over here on this track on first race, 12 hour. Yeah, we feel full focus. We try to relax, and yeah, today it's a long day. It's very hot. Most important to drink a lot of water, and yeah, we try to finish this. For us, it's a really big experience, and yeah, we try to do the best.
The next 12 hours are going to be incredibly challenging. The driver's seeking shade next to the pit wall. How is Ralph Bourne going to deal with the opening laps of the race?
To drive safely, yeah, don't touch anybody, don't make mistakes, and finish the race. Yeah. It's not so easy here. The track is very small and tight in certain situations, so we have only one or two positions where you or places on the track where you can overtake someone.
Driving around this tight and twisty circuit is a challenge even if you are on your own. But for the next 12 hours, there'll be several different categories of cars on the circuit at the same time.
I think we have to play together. The slower cars and the faster cars, they need to match together, and I reckon this time will be more Code 60 than in Portimao. As you say, the track is more tight, let's say it like this, and it's more difficult to overtake. And as I said before, to keep up the concentration in the car and also the overview around you will be not so easy. And I think it will be quite an exciting race.
And aside from all the usual challenges of motor racing in multi-class events, there's the Italian summer heat. That doesn't make things any easier either.
So yeah, it's going to be a long race, very hot, so it will be down to keep your body and mind focused. It's not easy to overtake, so the start will be interesting. We just need to stay out of trouble, and then with our pace, see where we are after a few hours. We're not so many cars, so I'm not expecting a lot of Code 60 or safety cars, so let's see.
Red Camel Jordan.nl had quite a good qualifying yesterday, but some technical problems have not been able to be fixed overnight. Ivo Breukers is with Dinah Binks.
Yeah, really sad. The car cannot start. We had this problem also in Spa. We changed the engine, we changed the throttle body problem. We had the same issue here. We were talking to Porsche what to solve it, and finally we found out that the throttle body was not working. The actuator on the throttle body was damaged. So we changed it, and our first real laps were yesterday in qualifying. We were happy, we were qualifying third, not too bad. And this morning we started the car, we warmed it up, no problem, and Luke went out to go to the start grid, and the same problem came up again. And yeah, we were devastated. We really would like to race here, to race Red End and HRT and all the other teams. Difficult circumstances, it will be very hot, so it was really a challenge. And wow, we are so disappointed that we are here and cannot race. It's really, it's really a pity.
Let's take a look at the grid for the final time before they roll off to the green flag. PTT by Schnitzelau Racing with Mercedes GT3 AMG and Porsche in the shape of Herbeth Motorsport on the front row. Then it's Hofer Racing. The number 11 car has the Audi alongside it from Santalok Junior team. Ferrari of Bum by Kessel Racing with another Audi, Jutta Racing on row 3. Prime Speed Sport on row number 4. On the inside in P7, that's an Aston Martin, and E2P Racing make up the top 8. The trophies that they will be competing for are on the front row of the grid as the cars roll off on their formation lap. 12 hours on the clock as the field in pretty good order comes onto the start-finish straight, waiting for the green flag. And it is in the air and we're racing. Both of the front row starters get a decent start. They go through the first corner. I think everybody's got through there okay. Yes, they have. It's very, very tight here at MISANO. Jimo Hertling of PTT Schnitzelarm Racing from pole position, just about holding on at the moment. It's Ralph Bourne in the black and gold Herbeth Motorsport Porsche in second place. Looks like Santalok Junior team's had a good start. Elia Earhart up to third. And that's Alexander Prince for Hofer down into fourth position. So far, so good then. Great battling further down the field. PTT Schnitzelarm then leading the pack from Herbeth Motorsport. Santalok in third. Hofer one place down from their starting position in fourth. E2P Racing in fifth. Sixth, Born by Kessel Racing. Jutter in seventh. Eighth, the Aston Martin GT4 Prime Speed Sport. Stefan Weininger in the Land Motorsport Audi number 34. Checking around him. Oh, and a spin for Weininger. What's happened there? My goodness. Coming out of turn 6. I think he just went off the circuit and tried to take too much speed. Fortunately, gets the car pointing in the right direction quickly and no one else hits him. RPM Racing, the green and blue. That's the Krohn Racing car. Number 907, Philip Hamprecht, has got ahead of the two Red Ant Racing Porsches that started in front of him. He's now leading 992. As ever, the Cup class for Porsches, very tight. At the front of the field then, second and third. The black and gold car is the Porsche of Ralph Bourne. Behind him, Elia Earhart for Santalok, tracking him down. In GT4, the number 407, multicoloured Aston Martin Racing, Julian Darragh started on pole position, but that's Chris Verhoeven in the Hannover Motorsport BMW that is now leading that class. Elliot Earhart still right behind Ralph Bourne, pushing hard for second position. Ralph, somewhat of an endurance racing veteran, using all of his skill to keep the Santalok car behind, but traffic intervenes and now they're side by side. That's the GT4 leader. They're going past 3 across the track there. And a great opportunist manoeuvre for the number 18 Audi. Battle for fourth place, and Alexander Prince in the green-pink Hofer Racing AMG has lost a position from the grid. Pro driver Davide Fuminelli right there in the Kessel Ferrari. If he's any closer, he'd be in the cockpit with the German. He goes through down the inside on the final corner. Fourth place for Born by Kessel Racing. And immediately, the mainly white Ferrari starts to pull away. Not a good start for Red Ant Racing. They have a problem with the left rear tyre, an unscheduled early pit stop for the Belgian team. It's been a great opening stanza for Davide Fuminelli in the Born by Kessel Racing Ferrari. He's already got past the Herbeth Motorsport Porsche, and now he's going for second place on the Audi. Tries round the outside. That's an audacious manoeuvre on one of the fastest parts of the circuit. Can he hold the Ferrari out there? He can. And the Santalok Audi cannot resist the power of the prancing horse. A new second place here in Italy. It's the Italian mark, now into second place. Alexander Prince now right with Ralph Bourne. Maybe the Porsche driver just suffering in the heat a little bit. Oh, there's a touch going into the first corner. This is super intense racing. Prince, for the moment, is repelled, but surely he'll have another go here, and he pulls to the right-hand side, under braking, and that is another change of position. Team Vortex V8 in the GTX class. They are literally in a class of their own, as they're the only car in class on the grid here at MISANO. But a great car. They are super motivated, and they are trying everything to keep up with the slightly faster GT3 cars. Just over an hour into the race, and the battle for first and second is down to around about 2 seconds. Davide Fuminelli in the Ferrari can almost see the leading PTT Schnitzelarm racing car, but the battle has been interrupted as the AMG comes in for the pit stop. Jimo Hertling, new tyres, new driver, full tank of racing fuel. Davide Fuminelli has stayed out one lap longer as he was trying to do the overcut and close the gap. The Ferrari has been running brilliantly so far. Burned by Kessel Racing, certainly one to keep an eye on, I'd say. Pit stops have shaken up the order just a little bit. And Pierre Caffa is now in the number 18 Audi. He leads in second position. We haven't talked too much about the Spanish E2P racing team, from fifth on the grid to second now after one pit stop cycle. Good work by the engineers, mechanics and the drivers. Not good news for the leader in GT4, Hankook Motorsport, the 419 bronze BMW, with a left front puncture and an unplanned pit stop. That's going to cost them the lead. A new leader in GT4, Bagheera ZM Racing, Alia Kolic, Paris-Dakar driver, one of a couple in the race this weekend, actually. Well known in the 24-hour series powered by Hankook, leading GT4 in the overall rankings in the European series as well. Now, as we're doing the leaders in class, RPM Racing leading 992. Just a couple of hours into the race, so plenty of racing still to come. In TCE, CWS Engineering, Colin White has a margin of 45 seconds to SR Motorsport in second. 3.5 hours in and another round of pit stops. Pierre Caffa's done an amazing job in the Santaloc Junior Team Audi. He put about a minute on the second place team of Herbert Motorsport. Sven Herberger now getting behind the wheel, trying to match Pierre's lap times and performance. So it's Herbert Motorsport now leading, but of course they owe us a pit stop, and so they'll lose the lead when they come in. Drama for Born by Kessel Racing. The Ferrari pushed down the pit lane. Never a good sign. Engine problem, we think. There's a firefighter there as well with an extinguisher. This is really serious. And we'd had no warning. The Ferrari had been running like clockwork till now. Well, that looks like game over for Born by Kessel Racing. Another favourite being pushed into the pit garage. Red Ant Racing. The number 903 had an early puncture, but this looks more serious. Diana Binks is down with the team and their team manager.
Yeah, we're still searching the problem. So we're looking at this race now as a test session and to find the problem for the next race. Because in a few weeks we have a 24 hours of Zolder, and we want to avoid that we have to schedule an extra test session to see if everything works, and that's why we're doing now a few tests and change the things. We think that would be the origin of our problem. Yeah, we know the symptoms, but the real actual problem, that's something we're still trying to put our head around, but it's something to do with it's an electronical issue for sure, and it comes up after 3-4 laps when the engine is real hot. So, but it could be a lot of things.
The temperature is scorching and so is the pace on the track at Misano. Let's cool down a little bit and have a look at the standings after a third of the race. 4 hours in then, and Santaloc Junior Team's Audi has a decent lead over a couple of Porsches, E2P and Herbert Motorsport. The pole sitter is in fourth place for PTT. Then Hofer, Jutta Racing, Prime Speed Sport in the Aston Martin and Land in the Audi, making up the top 8. Sven Herberger ends what has been a great stint for him. Elia Earhart, the starting driver, will get in to do his second stint. Herbert Motorsport back in the lead, together with the Santaloc Junior Team. They've been dominating this race, but that was a great job by the German amateur driver, especially in these hot conditions.
The track as such is fine. I mean, this is the hardest time of the day, and there you have to household with the tires and to make sure that you keep the car on the road. But overall, I think Misano is a fantastic track. It's a good exercise, and I think it's rather a complicated track. You know, you need a very good flow, and for an old fart like me, haven't been here for quite some time, it's a challenge. But every lap is fun, and every lap is a bit better, where you find some details, you know, and then at the end we come together. The race is still open and the race is still long, so we have our hot shoes, right, Elia? And yeah, so
I think there is something in for us.
Well, Sven Herberger right to mention the conditions that are really brutal today. The heat in particular is making the race grueling for drivers and the cars, actually. For the cars, for example, the intense track heat can cause engines to get too hot. It'll reduce the tyre grip and accelerate the wear on the Hankook tyres. For the drivers, searing heat inside the cockpit could lead to dehydration, fatigue, reduced concentration, so endurance and stamina are being pushed to the limit today as they strive to maintain peak performance.
I mean, it's obviously very hot. The track temperature is very, very high. And even with the wonderful AC that's engineered into these GT3 cars, it's hardly keeping up. I'm absolutely drenched and a bit out of breath, mainly from the driver change in the car. It's not so bad, but you feel the dehydration. You're just sweating is at the maximum.
Yeah, it's very, very hot here in Italy and very physical. The GT3 cars are very physical, so yeah, it was a hard one, and let's see how it goes.
It's having a big impact. I think we're all going to have to shorten the stint lengths a bit because, yeah, like I said, everyone's just getting punctures. So this is going to change the strategy a little bit, and it's going to be more survival.
It's really tough. It's one of the toughest races I've done so far. Trying to keep cool, but we have a great team keeping the drivers cool with towels, pools, whatever. So we'll manage.
It's the first Code 60 of the race, caused by an incident at the far side of the circuit. Rather ambitious overtaking manoeuvre from Chris Verhoeven in the black BMW from Hankook Motorsport, and he collects Jeremy Brodard of Orchid Racing. Unfortunately, broken suspension on the BMW. It'll have to come back on the flatbed. Code 60 then, playing a crucial role here in the Hankook 24H series. All cars have to slow down to 60 kilometers an hour. No safety car going out there. The gaps between competitors are maintained. The result, well, I think quicker, safer resolution to any on-track issues, and it also keeps everyone safe at the same time.
Well, you know, it's racing and I want to bypass him, but I think I was too late on my brakes and I couldn't avoid him anymore, unfortunately. I'm gonna excuse myself as well because it's unfortunate this happened, but this is race. It's very tough out here, especially with the sun, and we have to deal with it. So we go ahead and we will see. We will see if we can fix the car and maybe we can drive again, but I don't think so.
This is the leader into the pit lane, and this is unscheduled. Massive drama for Herbert Motorsport. Scott Noble. The car looks all right. They've taken the left front wheel off. But this is severe. It's going back into the garage as the mechanics try to ascertain the problem. This is incredibly bad luck.
I was passing a Cup car coming into 4. I was fully alongside with him and had the apex in advance, and he came down on me right before the apex of 4, and it sounds like they broke the steering arm on that, so it's really unfortunate. Not happy about it. Would love for these drivers to have a little bit more awareness, but he gave me the position and decided to come down all the way down to apex, and you just can't do that when you're being passed. Yeah, it does. Obviously, it happens in races, and it happens in multi-class racing, and everybody needs to be incredibly aware, and it's going to cost us the race, and we were in P1 and AM and P2 overall, and probably had a chance to win the overall, so it's really sad for my team. I guess I could have taken it through the grass maybe to avoid it, but that didn't click fast enough because I was clearly beside him. I was front bumper to front bumper and saw me coming. So that's just the way it works, and it's been a great race. It's a great series. It's a great track, and unfortunately we got the downside of it now.
This has been an hour of drama. PTT by Schnitzelarm Racing. The pole sitters have got 200 laps or thereabouts under the wheels of the AMG, but it's given up on the far side of the circuit. They started from pole position, fell back to 7th, fought their way back to 2nd. Marcin Kazmarski trying to get the car back to the pit lane in limp mode. So to the Code 60, and the organisers taking this opportunity to clean up some debris from one of the Porsche Cup cars. That will minimise the loss for PTT by Schnitzelarm, who have now got into the pit lane. So it's Santalok and Elia Earhart in the lead by almost 3 minutes now. It'll be Michael Doppelmayr, the team owner, who will get in that car shortly. It's Hofer Racing now back into second position. Maxi Partel behind the wheel of the green-pink Swiss-entered car. His job now is to try and gain some time on the amateur driver who is leading the race. Lithuanian Jutta Racing Audi in the top 3 for the first time this Saturday. They've been running under the radar for a little bit, but not lost touch with the overall top 3. Now, they've benefited from the problems of those ahead. Sometimes in endurance racing, it's not all about speed. Always reliability is going to be a key in trying to stay out of any trouble. More trouble for Red Ant Racing, but this time it's the white car, the number 904. There's something coming off the left rear of that machine. Now, they've been in the pits for already an hour, and they're coming back in again. Oh, dear me. This is broken, and the mechanics will have to go back to work.
So we have gone back out again, and we were running, and we were checking if the problems were fixed, but the water temp is still going too high. I still get the message, and when they checked in degrees how much it was, it's also too high, and I also got an oil temperature message. So they saw also that water's coming out, so they're checking now to fix it, and hopefully we can go back out.
Let's have a look at some teams who've had a little less drama. A couple of teams in the 992 class whose races are going pretty well. RPM Racing with the green Porsche. Super race for Tracy Krohn and his teammates. They are leading by more than 4 laps in the class and in 5th position in general classification. Just over 5 hours still to go. Fingers crossed that everything continues for them. Fulgenzi Racing in the 922 must be satisfied with their race so far. The 2 Red Ant Racing Porsches dropping away means they're in 2nd place in class, 4 laps ahead of the 3rd place Swiss Orchid Racing team. Meantime, Santalok Jr. are leading the overall rankings. 1.5 minutes their gap. Other than for the pit stops, they've been leading the race for more than 200 laps now.
I think it's normal when you have the endurance races that you also look for later on, and the strategy, and the guys are all working quite hard, and at the minute we are quite satisfied. You never know when there's a code 60 and then everything is messed up or getting changed again, so you always need to be prepared for that.
In GT4, Bagheera ZM Racing has an incredible 33 laps to the 2nd place Lion Speed GP Porsche team. And at the moment, all the other GT4 cars are in the pits and being worked on. Since we last checked in with the TCE class, there has been a change in the leader. It's SR Motorsport with the red and white Porsche 718 Cayman 111 doing everything right so far. Running 14th position overall. No issues, good strategy, staying out of trouble. That's the recipe for success in endurance. 2/3 race distance completed, 8 hours gone, and 270 laps in the books. 2-lap lead for Santalok Junior team ahead of Jutta Racing in 2nd and Hofer Racing up to 3rd. Prime Speed Sport with the Aston Martin for the Antipodean Trio. They're up to 4th. In 5th, it's the first of the 992 Porsche class cars. That's Tracy Krohn with Nicholas Jonsson and Philip Hamprecht. Then Fulgenzi, 2nd in that class. Orchid Racing, 3rd in that class. And PTT Schnitzelaum in 8th position. We're often asked what are the keys to success in a 12-hour endurance race like the Hankook 12 Hours of MISANO. Well, certainly slick pit stops play their part. Precision and efficiency during tyre changes, refueling, and any minor repairs, well, they can make or break teams' chances of victory. It's a high-stakes choreography where teamwork, skill, and split-second timing converge. And in the world of endurance racing, mastering the art of a pit stop is essential, as it can dramatically influence the race's outcome, transforming mere moments into a decisive advantage. Back to the action and to the leaders. Elliot Earhart in the Audi Santalok Junior team doing a great job. Third stint now for Lea. He started the race, of course, putting very consistently quick lap times together. Margin to second place, Jutta Racing team, around about 3.5 minutes or a couple of laps. Justus Yunusis in the red, white and black number 7 car in second, giving everything to try and get that gap down. 4 hours to go, everything still possible. More drama this time for the 4th placed Aston Martin GT3 of Prime Speed Sport. Now, is that a tyre issue? It's the right rear, certainly. Diana Binks is down with the Antipodean team.
We've had a damper fail, but whether that's been caused by a tyre puncture, I mean, earlier on, lots of tyres were going through the middle of the day and flapping around and possibly may have caused some damage or whatnot, but the dampers let go into turn 2 for Mana and basically destroyed the tyre. We don't know if it's tyre first or damper first. As it's come apart, and again, we suspect it may have been the tyre letting go again, but the bottom of the dampers come out or been taken out, and the spring and things have come off there. So it sort of dismantled itself out there, and he's done a really good job to bring it back in effectively one piece apart from the bits that were left out there at the scene of the crime. So we're just working on a plan. We sort of didn't come all this way not to finish, and it's a bit of a shame that the guys were after a bit of an iffy start with some traffic and some questionable driving and whatnot, and some incidents. We managed to sort of clawing our way back to it and get sitting 4th, and we just needed one of the front 3 guys to have a little bit of an issue, or we pop Earl in later on and run them down. It was looking pretty good. Unfortunately now that's gone, but it's endurance racing sometimes, so we've got a pretty darn good crew here, so if anyone can get it back together, these boys can.
Team Fulgenzi Racing sitting in second position in 992. They're having a great race. They are 5th overall at the moment, and that's the class leader right behind them. So at the moment, it is a battle to stay on the lead lap for Enrico Fulgenzi. You can see the flashing 5 in the windscreen for Fulgenzi and 4 for Hamprecht behind as they head down the fastest part of the circuit. So almost a full lap between these two, second and first in their class. Oh, it has been a roller coaster ride for Schnitzelam Racing. They were on pole position. They've had a few setbacks. They've fought their way back into 6th. Code 60 again as the car is being pulled back to the pit lane. This is torture for Maciej Zliowski in behind the wheel. What was the problem this time?
Yeah, you know what? We changed the fuel pump before the race weekend directly, like we do every time, and it's broke. Both pumps it's broken. We changed one more time for the new one today, and they still are broken. It's the problem with this Mercedes. I don't like it. I'm not happy about this because it's not issue when you change 2 times the same part from the brand new one and it's broken. For us it's disaster. Okay, we try to repair it. For us the most important to be on the finish line this day, like I told you in the morning, but I'm really angry about this. It's not should be like this, For sure I want to have an answer why it's happened like this, because we put so much heart to racing, We try to manage, we really have the fast car, and in the end the pump or something, small things like this destroyed everything what we work fully we can't, and I'm fully angry. I'll be honest, I'm fully angry. 2 times the same problem and nobody tell me. Yeah, I'm not happy.
All of this is happening well away for the battle, such as it is for the lead. Elliot Earhart completely focused on his job in the car, trying to keep the gap to Hoffa Racing as large as possible. It's Maxi Partel who's in the AMG GT3. Made up a little bit of time, actually, with their strategy in the last Code 60, so they are now up into second place. They've displaced Jutta Racing, and round about half a minute now between first and second. Last 2 hours of the race. And the sun beginning to drop down below the skyline. This is danger time for the drivers with the sun in their eyes. Everyone having to remain focused. Elliot Earhart, Santalok Junior team, This will be his last few laps before he hands the car over to Pierre Caffer. He'll take it to the end, and he's their fastest driver. Meanwhile, in GT4, Adam Lacko and the Bagheera ZM Racing team, well, they've got the same mission. Let's get to the end. They've been the only GT4 team with a clean race. Everyone else have had technical problems and have been in the pits or are in the pits. Well, we're getting closer to darkness. Temperature dropping just a little bit. The engine's continuing to roar. And the sounds of racing always seem amplified when we get into the slightly cooler night air. Reduced visibility, demanding heightened focus and precision from the drivers. The track is cooling down quicker than the air temperature, so that is something that the drivers are going to have to adapt to. Haas RT and the number 1 Audi with some steam or smoke coming out of it. They're in big trouble, I think. That looks like an engine problem. The team from Antigua and Barbuda have dropped oil on the track. Race control have no option but to go to a code 60. That is a fabulous opportunity for all of the teams to come into the pits for either their last or penultimate pit stop. Second place Hoffa Racing team in the pits. They were in there for 5.5 minutes, but the leading Santalog Junior team just over 3 minutes. Here's Alexander Prinz from Hoffa Racing.
We came in for fueling, and then code 60 came out, and then spontaneous we decided to check the brakes. And that's why we decided under code 60, okay, we changed for safety reasons. And then we changed it, and now he is back out, and he can push, and now maybe we try to give Pierre Caffer a hard time now.
Maximilian Partel has been in the car for a double stint. He's turning some very, very quick laps before he gets out. Kenneth Heyer is standing by, and we know he'll give everything. He'll be trying to snatch the victory from Santalog Junior team. Here's the important pit stop then with the 11 car from Hoffa Racing getting a brand new set of Hankook tyres. New driver is installed, and Kenneth Heyer is out. But there's a problem. It's moving slowly. Heyer is not up to racing speed, and immediately the team have gone into a huddle. He's back in the pit lane after just a lap, and the car is going back into the garage. They've put the dolly wheels underneath it. Everyone feverishly trying to find the problem. Even Alex Prince is helping out at the back of the car. Well, it's a problem with the pedal box, which needs fixing, but they've done that, and now Kenneth is out. Oh, that's not good. That's not good either. Kenneth gets another gear. Oh, dear. I'm not sure that that is good news. The car has not left the end of the pit lane, and the team are down there. Oh, my goodness, so close to the end. The car is being pushed back to the paddock.
It was very warm in the car all the day, so we drive our asses off really today. It was a bit of a gamble, and we start to already judge where we can be at the end. And Max, 2 laps before the regular pit stop was planned, already shouted that he had some strange noise in the car. I jump in, go out, and directly the gearbox break down. So it's a for sure finish for us here.
So with 40 minutes to go, Jutta Racing in a secure second place. Well, one team that can celebrate already is Fulgenzi Racing. They've won the Spirit of the Race award in the Hankook 24-hour series. This is an accolade that is given to the team that exemplifies the true essence of endurance racing. It recognises qualities like sportsmanship, teamwork, perseverance and passion that go beyond just winning the race. Well done to Fulgenzi Racing.
It is totally a team effort. It's so much fun to be here. This is my first time in MISANO, and I couldn't be happier. We actually have a chance to win it. Cross your fingers, we'll see what happens, but yeah, super excited. This is the first time I've raced with this team, and they're unbelievable. Enrico Fulgenzi Racing is tops. I've got a lot of experience at this, and I can tell you these guys, they know what they're doing. So thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Yay!
Eric Wagner is absolutely spot on. They still do have a chance of the lead in the 992 class, and that would be third place overall as well, by the way, if they can catch the green and blue Krohn Aviation RPM Porsche. Tracy Krohn is struggling with the brakes on that car, and Fulgenzi is absolutely steaming up to the back of the leader in class. Tracy trying to defend and roll the car through the corners, but he just can't get it stopped, and the brake pedal is a little uneven for him. Sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not. He's having to pump the pedal. That's what the team are telling us. This is a tough track to drive without properly functioning brakes, and it's clear from everything we can see from on board and outside that Tracy Krohn can't get that green car stopped effectively. And here it is, the moment that could mean a change in the 992 class lead right at the end of the race, and this is for third overall as well. They're side by side. Tracy Krohn tries to defend, but Fulgenzi's gone through, and that 4 on the windscreen will become a 3. In fact, Tracy Krohn, look at the brake glow on those cars. He's pumping the brakes for all he can, but he's gone off, and with it has gone the opportunity for the class win. What a run for the Fulgenzi orange and black number 922. Not only the Porsche class victory, but a spot on the overall podium. In GT4, Bagheera ZM Racing have absolutely bossed it, and their key, reliability. Everybody else in GT4 have had to retire or spend a lot of time in the pits due to various mechanical maladies. Bagheera then 7th place in the overall rankings. Well done. TCE, that will be SR Motorsports from Germany with the 718 Cayman GT4. The big white glare is from the leader of the race, and the Hankook 12 Hours of MISANO will be won by the Santalog Junior team. Pierre Caffer coming to the final corner. He has the honour of finishing the race. The checkered flag is out. Congratulations, Michael Doppelmayr, Elia Earhart, Sven Herberger and Pierre Caffer.
Yeah, it was a crazy race. Until the beginning, we was on P3, then P2, but we make no mistake, and that's it. Yeah, it's a shame for Bonk that they have the problems 20 minutes before the end, but yeah, it's a victory, and that's it.
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, it's the first time this year, and today was a hard race because it was very hot today, and I have to say Mike did an awesome job during the day, and luckily our weapon did not have any issues today, and yeah, strategy was fine, and in the end it worked out, so I'm mega happy.
An unbelievable race for Fulgenzi Racing. Who would have guessed 12 hours ago they would end up on the overall podium?
Yes, unbelievable race, but we have to thank my crew, my team staff for first, because we saw how many cars had technical issue during this race. It was very difficult to arrive to the end, but our car was unbeatable. So that's why we reached this result. And a big thank to my drivers, because I did the only last part of the work.
Ultimately, it's some disappointment for Tracy Krohn, but the experienced driver gave his all.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we came out of the pit at that last stop and knew that we needed to pump the brakes, which I did. Then I went into turn 4, hit the brakes, and there was nothing. And I pumped and hit it again, there was nothing. And then every once in a while I'd get brakes. Sometimes I had them, sometimes I didn't. Made it a different kind of race for me. So anyway, yeah, other than that, the car was great. Car felt great. You know, I wish I could have run it a little bit harder.
What a phenomenal day of racing that we've witnessed here at Misano World Circuit. Marco Simoncelli. After 12 hours of intense competition, let's celebrate the winners. Overall third place for Fulgenzi Racing. Their perseverance and skill have put them on the overall podium. And in second, well done to Jutta Racing. And our champions of the Hankook 12 Hours of MISANO, the team that managed to conquer every challenge, the Sontalog Junior team. Top 3 teams on the podium. Time for the champagne shower. Here are the final standings from MISANO World Circuit. Marco Simoncelli, Audi's first and second, Santlot, Jutta, and then Fulgenzi win the 992 class from RPM and Orchid. 3 Porsche Cup cars in the top 5 from Land. In 7th place, it is the Bagheera ZM Racing GT4 winner, and that is 4 on the spin for them. They take the GT4 Championship provisionally. RD Signs make up the top 8. After 12 incredible hours of racing at the MISANO World Circuit, Marco Simoncelli, just one thing to say, to be honest. Phew, what a scorcher. Intense battles, strategic masterstrokes, heart-stopping moments, we had it all. Every corner of this iconic track has tested the skill and resolve of the drivers. Let's be honest, there's been reliability problems here as well for some of the cars. Hard-earned victories celebrated, and we are looking forward with anticipation to the final showdown of the European Series. In mid-September, we're off to the legendary circuit to Barcelona, Catalonia. Champions will be crowned, legends will be made. I'm John Hindorf. Safe travels. I'll see you in Barcelona. Flat out as the red lights go off. He tries to go through on the inside. Oh, we've got fire! Tension is incredible. Such a fierce battle. Both fighting like gladiators for victory here.